Hey, bag ladies and bag dudes. I'm Sarah Lawson from So Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Ask Sarah, my weekly Q&A chat. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Sarah, this is my husband Danny.
Hello, hi guys.
And we saw a lot of the comments coming through as usual on YouTube and Facebook before the chat, so Violet's going to put some of the comments on the screen. Hey to all the bag ladies and bag dudes, thanks so much.
Val, would you do me a favor? I noticed we have the Social Sunday tag up there. Do you see the one where it says Ask Sarah? You click number 4 and the number below it. No. Number 3, Violet. Now use the mouse and click where it says Ask Sarah and hit number 4.
Our 9-year-old daughter Violet's running the technology for the chat.
I'll take care of Violet.
Okay. All right, so just as a friendly reminder, if you have any questions for me, either sewing related, bag related, sewing tool related, ask them in the comments and I'll answer as many questions as I can live. I also wanted to say the FedEx man left me a present earlier today, like right before the chat, so I haven't had time to do anything with it, but my Juki serger came. This is the Juki MO 1000. I ordered it online from a quilt shop in Ohio. It's So to Speak. That's the quilt shop, and I felt like So to Speak had the best price on sergers. If you missed my Social Sunday, I think it was Social Sunday, a couple weeks ago, my previous serger, the plug wasn't working, and I'd been thinking about getting that Juki serger for a couple years now, so since the plug was not working, I thought it was a sign to get the new serger, and so here it is right here. I don't know if you want to pull it farther in the middle, Danny, so everyone can see it.
Sure.
So I'm pretty tired.
Not just kidding. It's pretty heavy.
That's the serger. I'm going to play with it a little bit either tomorrow or Thursday, so I'm really excited. All right, you can...
That's it?
Yeah, well, it's white, and so I think it's throwing our colors off on the...
It's got, like, suction.
Oh, it's got suctions on the bottom. Anyway, I'm really excited to have the new serger. All right, any questions coming through, Danny, or should I...
Yeah, lots of hellos going on.
All right, Stephanie says, what kind of sewing machine do you suggest for a beginner? That's a tough one. So my first machine sewing as an adult was a Singer, which was a lemon. The machine that I got after that was a Brother. I think it was a 240. H240 perhaps was the model number. I think it was about between $200 and $300. That one served me well. I currently have a Juki, and the reason I upgraded to the Juki was because I wanted a really big throat size, and also my Juki's metal, but Brother seems to make pretty decent, inexpensive sewing machines. Yeah, I know my friend Vanessa Crafty Gemini has some good YouTube videos about more entry-level sewing machines, so you might want to check out some of the reviews on her YouTube channel, and that's the Crafty Gemini. Terry wants to know, have you used your serger to ever finish the inside of your bags? I have not. The only thing I've used the serger for is for the Sloan travel bag. There's a pocket on the front, and I serged the insides of the pocket. But you can also use the serger to attach fabric to interfacing, and the nice thing about that is the serging threads kind of compress the seam area, which would be nice to sew through, having that seam area flattened, especially if you're using foam. Otherwise, I just use it for garments. Katie says, could I make the Lilium laptop bag with cork fabric? I actually have seen someone recently make it with cork. I can't remember if it was Gwenna or not. This person used cork and canvas fabric, so and I remember it looked really nice. I can't remember if it was a nautical themed Lilium laptop bag, but you might want to do a search in our Facebook group. Just search for Lilium laptop bag, and I think hopefully the photo for that will come up. Sabrina says, when making a bag like your Clover train cases, how do you determine the length of the zipper and the connecting spine length? For me, I'm terrible at math, so whenever I'm figuring anything out for a pattern, it's mostly trial and error. So I'll cut a piece, see if it fits. If not, I'll measure the slack, say the slack in the zipper, make it a shorter zipper, and I figure that out, all that out before it comes to entering it in for the pattern.
Can we do this one early, and then I'll go and fix that over?
Oh, yeah, sure. Danny wants to put something up on the screen so he can fix the overlay that we have. So in the month of April, we've been asking for, if you're watching on Facebook, we're trying to hit our goal for the month of April with at least 100 shares. And if you're watching over on YouTube, we're trying to hit at least 500 likes, which is the thumbs up that you see on your screen. If we hit our goals for both Facebook and YouTube for every single one of the live shows in April, we'll be putting out a free brand new video and pattern for a crossbody bag in 2 different sizes. So April's almost up. Please help us hit our goals, and especially if you enjoy the videos, hit the share button if you're on Facebook, and the thumbs up, which is the like button on YouTube.
Yeah, so far we've been hitting the goals on the videos for the shares and likes, and really appreciate all the help you guys have been doing with hitting those goals. And so we get to bring new content, which is great. And thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we had a bunch of new notions that we listed in the shop this week. So I didn't tell Danny we were doing this, but I decided to sort of give him a little bit of a quiz to see what we do with all these tools. So I hope that's okay with you. Little surprise. So this is the...
Is it what you do with the tools or what I do with the tool?
No, what I do with the tools. This is the precision turning tool, which people have been asking for. We just got these in this week. What do we do? What do I do with this tool? How do I use it?
It's got multiple uses.
Okay.
One, you turn a bag inside out. You can also press it against the seam and slide it across the seam.
A bag inside out, or?
Yeah, say you have a bag that's inside out and you want to put this, once you turned it back inside out, you put it in a little hole before you sew it in, and you can use this to press the corners out, but you can also run it against the seam to pull the stitching really tight. When you're sewing something, you don't want to get your hands too close, you can press this down on that item and slide it into the sewing machine so your hand's not in that path of the needle.
That's a stiletto is what you just described, but yes.
Whatever. Special term, stiletto, whatever. It's great for that. You can also, when your wife gets angry at you, you can take this and hit her with it. It might... Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that.
No, we're not doing anything like that. No. All right, let me hold one more up, and then we'll do some more questions.
Sure.
So, Dritz Wash Away Wonder Tape.
I know what that use is too.
And these are all in the Notion section on my website in case you're interested. Okay, what do you do with this
From
one?
the pre-show, we were just talking about it again. You can use that for zippers. It's wash away, so you put that on one side of the zipper before you stitch it in. It holds the zipper in place when you're stitching. And then if you wash the bag, it's gonna dissolve and go away.
Okay, why would you use this instead of like a pin?
When you're sewing, it's just you get a nice stitch because it's gonna go straight. You're not dealing with starting and stopping herky jerky. You just go smooth and it holds in place really well.
Yeah, and pins also make the zipper wavy because it's wavy because of the pins.
And you can use it for straps. I know I've seen you use it for cork. When you fold it on top of itself, and the second fold it uses to hold it down when you're sewing it with no pins or needles or something.
Okay, all right. So you want good answers. I'm glad you were paying attention when we were making all those videos. All right.
Thanks.
Any more questions?
Yeah.
Coming through?
Cancel that.
All right. Amruta wants to know, what is the difference between Sublime, Airplane, and Renegade bag? How will you rank them by sewing level? That's a great question. So I would say out of the 3, the Sublime is the more challenging of the 3. Both the Airplane bag and the Renegade bag don't require any purse hardware. They just have the top zipper. However, the difference is the Airplane bag is just one fabric front and back, and through the use of gussets and darts, the Airplane bag is made more into a 3-dimensional bag. It's also larger. And the Renegade bag has like a side panel and a bottom panel and front and back. So that's the main difference. It's a construction difference mostly between the Airplane bag and the Renegade bag. Carol wants to know, do you use Craftex? Do you pre-wash? So I showed a few Sundays ago Craftex fabric. It was my first time getting it, and I just did a very simple little demo sewing a pocket wrong sides together. The Craftex is washable, and I believe the consistency and the look improves with the washing. As far as pre-washing, if you're talking about pre-washing quilting cottons, I personally don't, because I tend to buy quilting cottons from manufacturers that I'm familiar with. If you're ever not familiar or uncertain about where you've gotten quilting cottons or other fabrics from, pre-wash it and treat those fabrics the same way that you would the finished bag. So if you would wash a bag and put it in the dryer, do the same with your fabrics when you're pre-washing. Always err on the side of caution, and if you're not sure, pre-wash. Louise wants to know, do you have an actual physical shop or an online-only shop? We have an online-only shop. We run the whole business out of our home, which is really small, and all the cork fabric and notions and everything gets shipped out of our basement. So unfortunately, we don't have a brick and mortar. I don't think we'll ever have a brick and mortar. Do you think we ever will?
No, because it's gonna be an additional overhead and we have more responsibilities. We're trying to keep it streamlined to our videos. I think our video productions are goal in our business model, and then Sarah offers these nice notions to help when you're sewing and stuff like that, or if you can't get them readily. But I don't think I want to keep expanding to like a physical store personally.
Yeah, I've always been really into bootstrapping and only doing what we have the funds for, and also living within our means. We're also big into doing that, and I feel like brick and mortar is sort of, it's a big spend, so I don't see us ever going there. But
right. It's a responsibility. You have to have someone manning the shop or womaning the shop.
Yeah, and our goal is to make as many videos as possible.
Yeah.
And if we had a shop, I think I would be torn in 2 different directions.
Right.
So, good question though. Susan wants to know, how do I get a sewing machine to your retreat? So that's a great question. Our retreat in September sold out. We still have a few tickets for the June retreat. I saw a few ladies, Christina and some other ladies in the Facebook group talking about taking their machines on the plane. Some people use excuse me, a bag, like a travel bag, like the airplane bag, perhaps a rolling suitcase. The company, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Tutto, Tutto, they make a lot of nice travel and rolling suitcases for sewing machines, sergers, and other things like that. So that would be an option as well. And I think the ladies in the Facebook group were talking about just stowing their sewing machines in the overhead bin, not checking them. So if you've traveled with your sewing machine, please let us know in the comments, either on YouTube or Facebook. If you travel with your sewing machine, how do you take it with you? Do you check it? Do you put it in the overhead bin? And what kind of bag do you put it in? That's a great question. Pat says, can you show us next month's Cork Club colors? I don't think we have any up here. We've actually packaged them all in envelopes and sealed them up. So unfortunately, I don't have any to show you, but we did ship a good amount out on, was it Monday? Monday. We sent a lot out on Monday, and I know I saw a lady in the Facebook group in Illinois, we're in Chicago, so Illinois is really close. So some packages have started arriving already.
I think it caught us off guard how much work is involved with the Core Club, to be honest. It's a lot of time, to be honest.
There's a question, what does Danny win? So with the contest with the notions, I don't know. I guess he wins a pat on the back. Next time we go out to eat, he can choose the restaurant.
I've been begging Sarah. She's not very generous with that.
No. He does like to give me foot rubs once in a while, but I'm not, I don't know. Donna says, we are having Quilt Shop Hop here in Idaho. How much fabric should I buy if I make a great find 1 yard? For bag making, I always buy a 1 yard piece for exterior and 1 yard piece for lining if I don't have a specific bag project in mind. So I think a 1 yard's a great place to start. And you can also, especially if it's a medium-sized bag, you could get away with making a bag and another accessory, like maybe one of the minikins for your project.
Yep.
You want to read?
Danny, did you use quilting between the Mickey and the quilt top in your quilt that you made? I did not. And you know what? That was early on in my sewing career, which was, been many moons. But my understanding now, after watching a lot of the free motion quilters and just other people when they're doing their quilts and stuff, I learned that if I do another quilt, or if Sarah's going to make a quilt and it's going to be for me, I'm going to highly recommend double batting, because if we do get it quilted, I would really, really enjoy to see the free motion quilting or the designs of it stand out. That's my favorite part of a quilt. People like the quilts, the fronts. I actually like the backs when they're plain, and you could see all the fancy quilting going on there. And if you have that double, it's batting, right, Sarah? It's called
batting.
Yeah,
yes.
Double batting. It was like the go-to thickness, and it just stands out and looks beautiful. And to me, that would be. And I'd go like variegated thread, so it's like different colors. It goes through it and stuff like that. Pretty cool to me.
The last quilt that I had quilted, Sari Diddy. I don't know if you follow Sari Diddy if you're on Instagram, but she quilted, I believe it was 2 layers of wool batting and glow-in-the-dark thread, because it had spiders on it. So it was a Halloween quilt, so the glow-in-the-dark thread kind of fit. But yeah, that was I believe that was double layers of batting. Do ladies' dudes wash the interfacing? That's a great question as well. I personally don't. There is instructions when you purchase interfacing, either on the tissue or on the packaging, pre-washing instructions if you choose to do that. I don't. I just never have. I've never had any problems with bags after washing looking out of shape. The foam interfacing also can go in the washer and the dryer. So that's another handy thing about the foam as well. Haley says, do you have any wallet patterns coming out this year? I actually do either 2 or 3, and I've been calling them wallet-ish, but I guess they are technically wallets. I have another big group of patterns coming out after the summer, late summer, early fall. So I'm
see.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, but pretty excited about the next bunch of patterns. So they're all brand new, so they're no repeats for these. Gwen says, I'm making the emblem duffel, not really crazy about the stiff bottom insert, it's loose. Sarah, do you have any other suggestions for maybe a sew-in stiff bottom? So if you'd like, you can use Peltex. I'm trying to visualize the bag in my head. I'm not sure how high to put the Peltex up. If you want to email me, I can investigate that further. Sorry, on the spot, I just can't advise about that. But email. Yeah, email me. It's Sara@sewsweetness.com. Sarah with no H.
Yep.
Sabrina says, where's your June retreat? June retreat's in Chicago, about 5 minutes away from O'Hare Airport in Chicago, so easy to get to. There's free shuttle service from the airport to the hotel, and lots of dining and entertainment options within the vicinity of the hotel as well. And I think there's when everyone arrives Thursday for the June retreat, there's fireworks and a live concert that night. So if you're into that stuff as well, after we have our welcome mixer, there's other forms of entertainment available. And I think some people at the retreat last June went out for the fireworks and the concert, and they enjoyed it. So will your retreats be in Chicago in 2019? We actually, unfortunately, don't have anything scheduled for 2019. I think we were hoping
a traveling retreat maybe. Next one.
Danny was talking about a traveling retreat in another
Canada, maybe
in another
Florida,
country. I don't know.
California, somewhere far away, so people weren't necessarily at our last retreats. I can't say people from the Midwest just came over. There's people from Canada.
Yep.
There was people from California, Florida, far places. So it wasn't like a close destination for these people. They went really far away to come to our retreats, which was awesome. I really appreciate that. But for the people that can't go out so far away, maybe we should go to other places, and I love to bundle a vacation on top of it. 2 birds, 1 stone. We just pay for our airfare and we just extend it to 8 days instead of 3 days, and we got a 5-day vacation built in.
But we don't have anything planned or no contracts or anything for 2019.
Gotta see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay, can I ask you another Notion question?
Uh-oh.
Let me ask you, this is also a Notion in the shop.
This is sort of unfair because when we record these videos, I'm watching all this stuff that's going on with this, and then second, editing all the videos, I'm the one going through and looking at every video 2-3 times. So
okay,
I pretty much know all your tools.
I was hoping to trip you up, but I don't know.
Unlikely.
Fast turn tool. This has a little corkscrew on the end of the wire. What do you do with this?
When I get a real booger stuck way back in there, I put it up there and I twist. No. It straps, handles. When you put it, I wouldn't say for cork, but for linen or whatever the different variants.
Okay, all right.
You screw it in there at the very end, you get it caught in the top, and you pull it through really slowly.
This one's kind of newer, so maybe you don't know.
What is it?
Fray block?
Nope, I know what it is.
Okay, what is
this?
Say
you cut a piece of cloth, and the end of it, you get the little pieces that are not necessarily, they may come apart. So you use this like a glue almost to prevent it from fraying apart.
Okay, but more commonly, what would I specifically use this for? Not cutting fabric, but do you know?
Besides after you cut the fabric and when you're making it?
Cutting fabric what? Like cutting out a piece of fabric for a pattern, or what are you talking about? Cutting out fabric.
I'm saying if you can make it for a purse or a quilt, whatever, once you cut the fabric, it prevents it from coming apart.
I knew I'd catch you on one of them. So I use fray block if I'm inserting magnetic snaps or handmade hardware, like a little bling on the front of the bag. When I make the little slits with the seam ripper, I follow the slits up with fray block or another seam sealant so that they don't fray. So
cut fabric.
You're kind of right, but
I'm 100%
you're kind of wrong. Sorry.
I'm more of a broad approach.
Okay.
Use like a scalpel. Yeah, you have more, or we just save those as we go along?
Well,
I'm more interested to see the next ones.
I just wanted to throw a couple in there. Well, I think the other ones are going to be easy for you, but Pam wants to know, do you offer complete kits for beginner bags? We have the minikin. I'm not sure if you're talking about patterns or supply kits. We have the minikins, which are 12 videos with PDF patterns, and they're all smaller accessory bags and quicker to put together. I think most of them are 15 steps or less, so quick projects to work on. As far as supply kits, I admit we're running a bit behind on restocking our supply kits, and the supply kits are on the website, and they contain all of the interfacing, zippers, hardware, everything except the fabric to make certain patterns that I have, most of the patterns with videos. We're trying to catch up on getting those restocked, but we haven't yet, so I apologize on that. Any other questions coming through?
A lot of people were requesting where we go for the retreats.
Oh.
I see a lot of them. I like Colorado. It'd be a really cool place.
Oh, yeah. That
Sarah's
sounds cool.
brother lives in Colorado. I personally have not visited out there. I know he's got a newer house, and her mother and father do go out there once a year for vacation. It'd be another great time to go out there. I think it'd be a great idea. I see just everyone wants to come to their home place.
Let's another notion, try to stump you. What's this Fons and Porter stick for? Do you know?
Is that a glue stick?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for gluing a fabric.
Okay.
That goes away. It goes on a certain color and dries clear, I believe.
It does. Yeah, it goes on blue, dries clear. I used it for English paper piecing, and you can also use it for installing a zipper. So if you don't have any of the just wash away wonder tape, you can use a glue stick. This is washable, and glue the zipper in instead before you sew it.
And there are a lot of places, and I know for a fact, 100% fact, Sarah would go to Florida for a retreat because 2 reasons. 1, Disney and Universal, primarily Disney. She talks about Disney like we live, it's Wisconsin Dells, relatively close to us, 3-4 hours away. She talks about Disney like it's Wisconsin Dells to us. Are we going to Disney? Are we going to go next year? Are we going next month? I mean, her and Violet are the Disney duo attackers for vacations. I said, next one, we are not going to Disney. We are going somewhere we can sit on the beach, take it easy. When we go to Disney, oh my gosh, it is like a job. I need a vacation from our vacation because when we're at Disney, Sarah's got plans and schedules, and we're at this right at this time. We're going here. So we're at Disney. We get there at, say, 9 in the morning.
I have an app on my phone, and I schedule all the rides, and the app puts them in an order that's the fastest to go through, and so I'm like on a mission, right?
You're on a schedule, and yeah. I appreciate that because I hate waiting in line just like anyone else, and the more efficient you can be, the better. But I don't want to go on vacation and wake up like at a job. We're there at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're there till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to dinner at 5 o'clock. We're going home, do whatever you like in the evening, and we'll do this for 7 out of 8 or 9 days on the vacation. So it's literally jam-packed with Disney, and we go to the parks 2 times each park. So there's 4 or 5 parks in Florida. So we went to California last year. We went to Disneyland. I really enjoyed that because there's 2 parks. They're really one park. They're cut in half, so you go to either side of the park. And I loved how their layout is. And people are like, oh, Disney World's so much better. To me, honestly, I really enjoyed Disneyland. I think Violet and William both agreed that Disneyland was just a great time. It's more condensed, and the rides that were available were great.
And I got mad when we went to Disney and you wanted to go to the mall and relax.
It was raining that day. I think that's why we went to the mall.
No, it was sunny outside. Remember,
you got drenched?
No, you wanted to go shoe shopping. No, this was not at Disneyland. This was Disney World. Remember, you wanted to go to the outlet mall? And I was
last time or the first time?
The last time.
Ooh, I don't remember.
I was silently throwing a fit because I didn't want to go to the outlet mall when when we could be at Disney World. And,
you know what? It was actually our Uber driver recommended going to this outlet mall, and I was very disappointed. It seemed like it was gonna be like great, bizarre, amazing deals.
We went to like 5 shoe stores because you wanted to go to 5 shoe stores, and I
went to all the shoe stores, hoping to find it. I love shoes, and
no, but I was like, we could be on a ride right now, and
I think the kids agreed we needed a break from the Disney at that time.
No.
Universal, the last time we went there, because we went to Universal and Disney, was a better time to me than Disney. Violet, you agree or disagree?
Everyone has their own opinion.
I
saw a question in the comments. Someone wants to know the name of the app for Disney. It's called Touring Lines. The website's touringlines.com. And they have, for Universal, Disney World, Disneyland, they have the whole, you plug the rides in, and every time you get off a ride, you hit a button that you got off the ride, and it puts it in the rest of the rides in the order that would be quickest. So a lot of times it involves a lot of walking back and forth, but that walking back and forth saves you time in line. So for me, it was personally worth it. Roxanne says, can you explain zipper sizes? What is a size 3, 5, etc.? Great question. So a number 3 zipper is also known as a dress skirt zipper. So that's the one with the smaller pull. This is a number 3 zipper right here on the back of the Hyacinth bag. A number either 4.5 or 5 zipper is a handbag zipper, and that's this zipper right here. Mostly handbag zippers have a bigger pull like this one is. A handbag zipper is 1 1/4 inches wide, and that number 3 zipper is about 7/8 of an inch wide, so less wide for the number 3 zipper. I think those are the main 2 zippers that I use in bag making. I don't use other zippers like invisible zippers or anything like that. Pat says, Sarah, you are a woman after my own heart with your schedule plan of the day. After 25 years of the military, I'm appreciative of your schedule. I love the schedule, and it gives me something fun to do in the months leading up to the trip because I'm making the schedule. I read all the touring books, and I, figure out where we're going to eat and all this stuff. And by the time we get there, I know every day where we're going to be, where we're eating, where we're staying, everything. Sue says, Gold Coast, Australia has 3 theme parks, beaches, shopping, mountains. That sounds fun.
Yeah, we were actually talking about an Australia trip, and I think it was 2019. Sarah was supposed to be possibly teaching in Australia, so we're going to do like a family trip. Till I heard that was like 19 hours on a
we're a little nervous about
flight.
The length of the flight because
I've not flown until we went to Disney 2 years ago, and that was the first time I ever flew, and I'm like, it's not too bad after we got there. And my daughter was totally confident up until that point, until we got to the airport. She was fine. She never mentioned being nervous about anything. And we're sitting at the terminal, and we're getting food, and she's like, I don't feel good. And Sarah takes her to the bathroom, and she went to, whatever, she had a problem. And then she's like, can I just call Grandma? I'll stay with her for the week while you guys are gone. Me and her could just hang out. And like, we're going to be getting on the plane in like 15 minutes. I don't think we'd call Grandma. So I stayed with her the whole time. And, she had a couple more, incidents. And I sat with her on the airplane, and we worked through it. And the way back, she was fine. But it just caught us off guard. I was the more nervous going up to it. And it was not, the first taking off was the big, whoop-de-woo. But after that, it was pretty smooth, to be honest. And luckily, no turbulence. Sarah picks the flights. She was trained by her friend Kim about going on large planes only, safe ones. And it's not too bad. They have some advice for some theme bags.
Lottie says, I have a friend asking for a retro hippie themed bag. Any ideas for fabric pattern choices? Do you mean like a 60s or 70s style bag? I have, where's that fabric? Oh, I don't know where it is now. Alexander Henry? Robert Kaufman had some great 60s and 70s style
What's
fabrics.
with like the Volkswagen bus fabric?
Oh, yeah, a chino. I can probably grab that out.
That's a good classic one.
Okay, I'll grab that. You want to either talk or get another question?
Sure. Make a retreat in Mexico. Heck, I think we're actually maybe going to Punta Cana, so that would be a pretty cool place. A fun fact for next week's show, I have a friend who went to St. Kitts, and he bought Sarah some fabric at, I guess, a mill that make batiks there, handmade fabric, and Sarah will be showing that next. Hopefully it shows up this week in time, but Sarah will be showing it, and it was very nice of him, totally unexpected. He's like, Danny, I need your address. He lives in Virginia, and he's like, Danny, I need your address. I'm going to send you something. I'm thinking, what's he going to send me? He's like, I got Sarah some fabric. I'm like, you got Sarah some fabric? You're my friend. What the heck? And he's like, don't worry, I got you some rum from there too. I'm like, oh, okay, you saved it, because if you're just sending fabric, I was gonna give you some phony address. Let it some neighbor be happy and catch some cool fabric, because you need to share. And I don't mind Sarah getting something, but I damn better be getting something too.
Sorry, I couldn't find the VW bug fabric, but
do you know what it is?
A chino.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a cool thing too. If you do, say someone else showed this before, but if you find a fabric and you don't know the name of it, but you do have a picture of it, Google, I believe, in their search somewhere, you can take that picture, put it in, I think it's a reverse picture finder, Google it. You can take that picture and it'll actually show you fabric, whose fabric it is.
Oh,
someone did it in the group, and I thought it was very clever.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say it was Wendy.
WD handbags?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Beatles fan Sonia says, which of your patterns do you think would be a good first pattern for a beginner? So there's 2 free patterns on the YouTube channel, the Easy Leather Hobo bag and the Baker Street bag. Baker Street bag's super popular. Either of those would be great for beginner bags. The Baker Street bag does have a zipper. The Easy Leather Hobo bag does not have a zipper. It has a magnetic snap closure. So either of those would be great for a beginner bag. And because it's a video, you can watch the video and pause it when you get to that step and rewatch it as many times as you need to.
I think it's a tough one. Someone said multiple people
Okay.
want to use this question.
Okay, is there a way to identify good vinyl to use for bags? I made a bag, and after just a couple of weeks, the vinyl on the straps is cracking.
That's a tough one because you know what? There's so many variations of vinyl, and we looked for carrying our vinyl. There's 1,000,001 places to find vinyl, and they come in different qualities by a lot.
I personally try to look for thin vinyl and either mesh-backed or canvas-backed vinyl. I personally, maybe this is a personal preference, I don't care for vinyl that's backed with fleece. The fleece is usually white and fuzzy looking, and so it's really difficult to rough cut straps and accents for a bag with that white fleece on the back. So when I can, I try to read the description really carefully for the vinyl and make sure I don't ever get any that are backed with fleece. Usually if they're backed with mesh or canvas, they're okay.
Here's an interesting one. I don't know if there'd be a possibility of making that happen, but it'd be pretty cool if I could find a way.
That's interesting. I would be willing
to live stream,
to
like,
pay to
from-
watch the retreat since I can't go. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. So I'll be making in June. I'll be teaching the airplane bag, and in September I'll be teaching the satellite bag, and then we also have a guest teacher for each retreat. So the September is all bags. The September retreats, the co-teacher is Celine from Blue Cal, and she'll be teaching the Baronia bag. So that's really interesting. I have heard of other professional retreats that do broadcast certain lectures, but I've never heard of any like hands-on workshops broadcasting the workshop, but that's really interesting.
I'll look into it.
Robin says, of your bag patterns, could you recommend one to make that would work well to carry full-size toiletries? I'm not sure the Crimson and Clover would work for that because if you're looking for a full-size shampoo bottle, that one's a little short unless you made it taller, unless you just modified it, which would be easy to do. You would just make the height of the panel B-piece taller. Violet, do you have an idea?
The one that you made me, the horse one, behind you.
Oh, okay. Well, the Jet Set cinched bag, you could put... I mostly use travel toiletries in that bag. Let me think of what other one. I can't think off the top of my head any for full-size toiletries.
Always come back to it. It might hit
Okay,
you while
yeah,
you're
I'll
talking
think about it. Maybe it'll come back before the end of the show. Connie says, will you please make a bag with a center zipper divider? I found one, but I want one from you. So the Lilium laptop bag has a center zipper divider. Also, a bag in my second book, Windy City Bags, has a center divider, like a zipper divider, and that one's called Trompe-l'Monde bag. I think those are the only two that I have with dividers, but check those out. And it's just the length of the bag. The zipper's right down the middle.
Just reading through it.
Any other questions? Maybe two more? Or maybe I can quiz you
Thomas said, you can always live stream retreats to Twitch. Twitch is a different avenue that we've actually spoke with about. We like to be on the front edge of using different technologies to, help grow this business and reach people and help them make different stuff and, just grow the company and our family. And I say our family, that's the So Sweetness people, that the bag ladies and bag dudes. And if you're a bag lady or bag dude, it's a great time to write it in there. I think if you join our private group, it's a wonderful place to be. You can post your stuff. You won't be critiqued. If you are critiqued too hard, I'll throw them out of the group real fast by the air. But no, it's a good place. It's like a family. And I think we try to use every avenue available to us that can help improve the experience you have there. And one of the things that you may speak of Twitch, not a lot of people use Twitch, I think, in our community, and they may not know where it's at. Maybe in the future we may go to our website and make a one-stop destination. That's a future, something we could talk about. But we are, looking actively at always increasing our product and giving you guys a better experience. So we will continue to look into that. And Tom's great for the comment on that. I appreciate it.
Not sure. We'll have the video done ahead of time.
I think the Aztec one changed a little too. Didn't they remove some of the sheen from it so it's not as...
Maybe. Yeah,
not-
it was a
not
little bit
100%
silvery.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit silvery.
Someone Someone asked, can you embroider on cork? Yeah, Sarah has a video, book covers. The Cork Club, was it the first video?
Oh,
No, it's eyeglass case.
not embroidered. This question was not about
No,
embroidery.
someone mentioned it here, but I'm just mentioning it. They say, can you use embroidery on cork?
You can embroider on cork. I don't have an embroidery machine yet, but ladies in the Facebook group have suggested to float the cork and not hoop it so that the hoop doesn't create creases in the cork. But let me answer this question really quick. Can you give advice or can suggest a pattern on how to add a zipper to a cork, to a vinyl or cork bag? I'm stumped. The free bag for the Baker Street, the free video for the Baker Street bag, that's a bag I made in cork, and I'm pretty sure I showed all the steps during the video sewing with the cork. The lining is not cork, but yeah, let me know if it's not shown in the Baker Street bag. You can feel free to email me and I can answer a specific question. Brett says, any plans to design a steampunk hip style bag? I'm not sure what that looks like, but again, feel free to email me. If you have some maybe photo inspiration I can look at, because sometimes I just don't know. I had some people ask for diabetes cases, and, you know, since I'm not familiar with that, I asked them for some photos so that I could see how they would store their diabetic supplies. So sometimes I ask for photos just so I can better understand what you would use the bag for. Okay, last question right here.
Okay.
Linda says, I made a bag of my own pattern out of cork. The cork is very easy to sew. Is it available by the yard? It is a bummer to have to buy multiple pieces to have enough to do a complete bag in a larger size. I completely understand. Unfortunately, our process and our space that we have available to us, we cut the cork. The biggest piece that we have is a half-yard piece, which is 18 by 54.
And just shipping, so you'd have a larger container. So if you did, like, say, 36 by 54, you'd have a piece that a box would be pretty large, and the shipping would probably be a lot more expensive because of the size of the box itself.
Because we cut the cork when we get it, not when a customer orders. Most of the time, all the cork is cut. But if there's a certain color you're looking for, or maybe I can save you a little bit from our next order and send you yardage, feel free to email me again, Sara@sewsweetness.com, no H on Sarah. And I'll see what I can do, and maybe we can work something out. Okay.
Did you get to show all your stuff?
No, I didn't show.
Your new thread?
Oh.
I love that she came up with great names for the...
We added 4 thread packs because people ask me often what kind of thread I use, and we got the thread that I use, but in smaller spools, so you could try it out in packs of 3, and I named them according to candies. So this is the Orifil Starburst pack, and this one's M&M's. I just kind of liked the name, the candy themes of the names. But anyway, this is 40 weight thread, Orifil, 3 small spools in the pack. It's on my website in the Notion section. And each spool will make about 2 to 3 bags. Your mileage will vary depending on what bag you're making. But it's a good way to just try it out and see how you like it. And not a huge spool to get through.
Well, yeah, a lot of these you didn't bring up and show.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll ask 2 more things. Okay, so these are marking tools, friction pens, and Clover Choco. So what's the difference? Why would I have 2 different things that I'm using for marking fabric?
For the front of fabric, you want to use the Clover because this, you worry if you do use it on the front, say, fabric. I know it irons off with heat. It's supposed to disappear. You don't want that problem with the white chalk, pretty much. You can wipe it off. You won't have a problem with it. This you'll use on the back side, the wrong side of fabric, and it's easier to see than this, and it's not easy to wipe off. So if you need exact line or you're moving your hands around something, this would be a better choice. The right side of fabric, you're using this one. Wrong side, that
Clover
one.
Choco. Okay, yeah. The Clover Choco is just chalk. There's a little wheel that deposits the chalk wherever you draw it. And the friction pens, while they do disappear with the iron, sometimes when they disappear, since they're like a gel ink, after they disappear, they leave like a faint little white line, very faint, depending on the fabric. So, like Danny said, I use these on the wrong side of the fabric or areas that will not show in the finished bag, and then any areas of the bag that will be seen that I need to mark, I use the Clover Choco. And I've used the Clover Choco in other colors besides white, and it didn't go away. Like there's a hot pink, blue, yellow, and gray. And I made a dress with like a white background fabric, and I used the pink chalk on it because I thought I'm not going to use the white chalk because I can't see it. I'll use the pink one, and the pink chalk wouldn't go away when the dress was finished. So I only use the white Choco.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Since you're quizzing me.
Okay.
What's the proper way to use these? Because Sarah has used these in the videos quite often, and you do that. And so many ladies and dudes, bag ladies, bag dudes, said, Sarah, There's a straight side and there's a curved side.
Okay.
You should be using that straight side down, I'm pretty sure, right? The flat side down?
So when I put Clover Wonder Clips on my fabric to hold the layers together, I just grab it and put it on however I grab it. There's
Ease
a
of
right,
use, so.
there is a right and the wrong way, but I'm...
What's the reason behind that? That's what my question
The
is.
reason is the clear side is the flat, completely flat side, and the side with the color has a curve to it, and theoretically you want the clear side to be against the bed of your sewing machine so it's flat. I've never had a problem, but the correct way is to have the clear side against your sewing machine. And there's also markings on the clip. I don't know if you knew this, but there's quarter inch and half inch marks on here. So if you're using this for binding a quilt, to hold the quilt binding, the measurements are on the clips as well.
Cool.
In case you didn't know that. Okay, so I think we're good on the questions. Sorry if we didn't answer your question. We'll be answering more next week on Ask Sara.
And we also have the pre-sew on Instagram.
Yep, if you are an Instagram user. But we'll see you again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and happy sewing.
See you guys. Bye-bye.